Do you solemnly swear affirm that the testimony you give in this
Detective, will you state your full name, please,
Rachel Ruiz,
and spell your last name?
R-U-I-Z.
Thank you. And Detective Ruiz, how long have you been employed with the Dixon County Sheriff's Office?
10 years.
10 years? All right, thank you. I knew you looked familiar.
Awfully young for your age. Most 10-year veterans of the police department look a lot older.
Detective Ruiz, were you assigned to investigate the case involving the defendant, Mr. Kyle Bush?
I was.
What was your role in the investigation?
Lead detective.
Lead detective. Okay, very good. In the course of your investigation, did you collect and receive evidence that was collected outside of the sheriff's administrative building?
Yes.
All right.
It's a evidence and property receipt release form.
Okay. Let's go through some of the evidence that was collected in this case. Can you identify the item number and then the description of the property?
It was item number 1. Well, 1, 2, 3, and 4 were all 9mm shell casings.
Okay.
There was item number 5 was the clump of hair located in the front passenger seat. Item number 6 was another clump of hair located in the back passenger seat. Item number 7 was another clump of hair located in the back passenger seat floorboard, or back passenger floorboard. Passenger, item number 8 was 1 AirTag. It was behind the driver's side in the wheel well. And item number 9 was 1 acrylic fingernail.
Thank you. So, Detective, 4 9mm shell casings were collected outside of this building here?
Correct.
On the roadway?
Correct.
And those were turned over to the TBI lab for testing?
Yes, sir.
All right. And then it looks like 3 separate samples of hair were collected from the victim's car?
Correct.
And can you describe, and you may not know off the top of your head, the locations of the hair?
Inside the car, in the front passenger seat, back passenger seat, and the floorboard.
Thank you. And there was also an AirTag collected, is that correct?
Correct.
Did you collect that?
I did.
And did you do any type of investigation on the AirTag itself?
Um,
I believe there was a search warrant that was applied for.
yes, sir.
And I'm not sure if you did that or not.
And I didn't know.
Okay. We'll get back to that later. And then there was also an acrylic fingernail collected.
Yes,
That was submitted to the TBI lab.
I believe so, yes.
I'll make the evidence property report the state's next exhibit, please.
No objections, Your Honor.
All right, mark it as Exhibit 6.
Detective, can you identify this photograph, please?
It's one of the shell casings.
All right. And I think you've already testified that that was sent off for testing.
It was.
And there was a total, I'm not going to move 3 separate or 4 separate photographs, but does that, that is one of the shell casings that you collected?
One of the 4.
Okay. I'll move that as the state's next exhibit, please.
7.
Detective, I'm going to hand you a series of 3 photographs, and it appears that they have evidence markers number 5, 6, and 7.
Okay.
If you would please identify these 3 photographs.
Items 5, 6, and 7 are all hair found inside the car.
That's the hair that was collected from the car, and the car was parked in front of the administrative building.
Yes.
All right, I'll move that as the state's next collective exhibit, please.
8.
Detective, please identify this photograph.
The AirTag.
Do you remember where on the car the AirTag was found?
The driver's side wheel well.
So not inside the passenger compartment, but outside underneath the wheel well.
Correct.
Is it magnetic?
It was stuck. It was stuck there with like double-sided sticky tape.
Okay. So have you seen an AirTag before? Like, are you familiar with AirTags?
I'm not.
Okay. So you don't know whether they come with double-sided sticky tape or somebody had to attach sticky tape to it.
Right. I don't know.
Okay. State will move that photograph as the next exhibit, please.
Exhibit 9.
Detective, did you collect, or were you there when the defendant was apprehended, arrested?
I was not. No.
Do you know which detective or road deputy was present for his arrest?
I believe the other detective was.
Do you know the other detective's name?
I don't.
Okay. It's such a huge department. I know that you don't know all of the other employees.
A huge department.
Yeah. There's hundreds of detectives. She doesn't know all of them. So Detective Ruiz, what else did you do as far as the investigation in this case?
I was just there collecting evidence.
Okay. I will pass the witness.
Sylvan, do you have any questions?
Detective Ruiz, you found 4 shell casings, correct?
Correct.
All right. And while we have, I believe this is Exhibit 4. Still up on the screen. We have Exhibit 4 still up on the screen. During the state's questioning, you said you collected the evidence.
I did.
Did you collect these 4 shell casings?
I did.
All right. And which part of the parking lot did you collect those casings?
More around towards the black truck
This black truck.
on the right. Yes.
All right. And have you had a chance to watch this security footage?
I have. Yes.
Did you ever see that white truck enter that parking lot?
No.
Okay. So you collected shell casings, 4 shell casings, from an area of the parking lot that the white truck never entered.
I never saw it enter. No.
Okay. Are you very knowledgeable about guns? You're a detective.
I say so.
Okay. So when you shoot a gun, what happens to the casing?
The casing falls on the ground.
All right. So it's ejected from the gun.
Correct.
All right. And we will agree that over there where the truck is not where we heard gunfire.
In front of the truck on the road.
So it was actually kind of off screen when we started hearing firing, correct?
Yes.
But you didn't find any shell casings over there.
No.
All right. And when that truck was entering, the assumption you want us to make is that the driver shot that gun?
Correct.
And it would have been on what's kind of the shadowy, dark side of that road, is that correct?
Yes.
But you found no casings over there?
No.
The 4 casings you found were in this parking lot over by this black truck.
Yes.
Let's talk about the hair you collected. That's her collective Exhibit 8. Oh, goody.
Let me interrupt you and just say, one thing I failed to, would have been in the initial instructions, if you were an actual jury, would have been to tell you that you had the right, as jurors, to ask questions yourself. And if you want to ask a question, you have to submit it in writing while the witness is on the stand, and then I'll consider it, and if it's legally admissible, I will allow it to be asked. But so while you're sitting here listening, and you can consider whether or not you would want to ask any particular question of the witness, and if you do, you simply write the question down, give it to the bailiff, and then he'll hand it to me. Thank you.
So you're looking at collective exhibit 8. Now, in this exhibit, what time of day were these pictures taken of this hair?
It was at night.
Okay. But we can agree that she was at the station during the day.
Yes.
And this hair, is it in chunks or strands? How would you describe it?
In chunks.
Okay. Is that usually how hair comes out, is in chunks, or does it come out in strands?
I guess it depends on how it comes out.
And these pictures were taken at night.
Correct.
Were they taken the same day?
Yes.
What's the reason for the delay? Why wait and take it at night?
I believe that she was giving her testimony and it took a while.
Did you secure the car?
We did, yes.
How?
Nobody was to enter the car and she wasn't supposed to go to her car.
And how did you do that?
The defendant or the witness was, while she was giving her testimony, the detective that was taking her testimony just was aware that her car was there, so
Just aware?
yes.
Okay. I have no other questions, Your Honor.
Any redirect?
Detective, just to follow up on the shell casings, you're familiar with a Glock 19?
I am.
And if I were pointing a Glock 19 out of a window and fired 3 rounds, the shells would be ejected out of the window
Yes,
and they would travel some distance,
they would.
thus placing the shells into the location where they were collected by you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Basis of your objection? Sustained? Any other questions? Any other redirect? Thank you, ma'am. You may step down. Resume your duties as a detective. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Have a seat. We actually have one of our law class students has a question. All right, who wrote the multiple page questions? All right. Normally, what would happen when a juror submits a question, I'm by law required to send the jury out of the room, and then I ask the question, or I state what the question is to the lawyers, and then we have a discussion on whether or not that is admissible. My job is to rule on the admissibility of evidence, and that includes the questions that the jurors ask. So I would have to then look at the question. I'm going to take a single question first, and then I'll get to the multiple question. The question that, and I'm going to leave you in here so you can hear it. If the witness were punched before going to the station, would there not be a bruise of some kind? If there was, is there a record for evidence? That's a good question. So I would suggest that to the lawyers, and then I would allow one of them to ask the question if they wanted, or I would ask the question. But since we're in a mock trial situation, I'm going to ask the question. You're not going to know the answer, but I'm going to ask you the question. If the victim in this case, Ms. Richards, I think was her name, if she was hit or punched before going to the station, would there not be a bruise of some kind, or on your experience, would there automatically be a bruise on an individual if they were punched a short time before?
Can I speculate?
You can.
Okay. Whenever the witness was giving her testimony, she was already shaken up, and I could tell that she was in distress, and so she was crying, and her hair was all messed up, and so there could have been a bruise.
Okay, and so for your education, detective, when you're talking about the victim coming to the station, she is giving a statement rather than her testimony. Testimony is only in court.
Okay.
That's all right. That's what, the whole purpose of this is for everyone to learn, including the lawyers. So the fact that you said it as testimony, it's actually a statement she was giving to law enforcement, correct?
Okay, yes.
All right. So there could have been a bruise, but you wouldn't have noticed it because of her state of upset?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, we'll get to the multiple question page. All right, this question is, in the video, when the truck passes the second time, was there any tattoos on the driver's arm? And what I would tell you is, I would simply say, did you, they would be allowed to ask you that question, but if, the jury can look at the video the same as the witness, and they can interpret it the same as the person. So if you're looking at a video, then you can say whether or not you saw, did you look at the video?
I did, but we didn't zoom in, so yeah.
So the second time around, did you see any tattoos on the driver?
As of right now, no.
Okay. So in a real world situation, the jury would be instructed that they make their own determinations of what the evidence is. So next question, does the victim wear glasses? Because in the video, the person wore glasses. Now, that's a good question. So it would probably be a question better asked of the victim when she testifies, but that's a legitimate question. Do you know whether the victim wears glasses?
I don't.
Okay. I would say that it's the same person in the video, so she probably does wear glasses, just like me. She doesn't wear them all the time. So, can you clarify the shots was Glock shots? A Glock shot. Now that one is a little bit more difficult. Could you listen to the video and determine from the video what type of weapon was being used?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll ask you this question. 10 years of experience, and what's the standard weapon issued to the Dixon Police Department? It's a Glock, right? So
Yes, sir.
it looks remarkably like the picture of what we've seen here. So when you fire a Glock, do you recognize when another Glock is being fired?
Yes.
So would you say that sounded like a Glock? Now, I'm actually questioning you as though I was the attorney asking you the question rather than the judge, but do you recognize that as being Glock shots?
I do, yes.
All right. And lastly, where would you estimate the shells should have landed? And I think General Crouch more or less speculated about how that would be, and General Sylvie objected to it, and in a real-world trial, I would have sustained that because it would be speculation as to where a gun in a truck passing by, a weapon is fired, and a witness is not likely, unless they have a degree in physics and can do an experiment, they would not likely be able to say where those shells are likely to show up. They could give you a possibility, but they couldn't give you a definitive answer. All right. Then any other questions for this? And we are ready to allow you to step down. Thank you. Oh. Now see, if I hadn't told you you could ask questions, we would have been further along. And trust me, there are trials when the lawyers regret the fact that I tell jurors they can ask questions too, so. Okay. This question is, what color was the hair? I'm assuming that's the sample of the hair that you recovered. Do you know?
Brown.
Brown. Why was the hair not tested? Do you know the answer to that?
Because we had the, what is it, the witness? Or,
Miss Richards?
right, we had Miss Richards giving her statement, right, her statement, and her hair was brown, and so we didn't feel the need to test it because her hair was brown.
And testing evidence is not always required in a real-world trial. For example, what would be the purpose in testing the hair in this situation? Any of you want to speculate about that? Testing it for what, drugs, alcohol? To make sure it was hers. So you would like to have DNA testing of the hair, is that correct? It's likely that would not occur in a real trial because of the fact that you had a sample of hair that was taken from the victim, and the victim was there and says, that's my hair, it's unlikely that now the defense might, do that, but that would simply prove that the defendant in the case had pulled some other woman's hair out in another situation, so it might not be a good thing to do. All right. Anybody else have any questions then before? All right. Probably a good thing we only had 5 students, so. All right. Thank you, ma'am. You may sit down.
Thank you.
General Crouch, you may ask your call your next witness. Step right up, raise your right hand.
You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give in this case be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Good evening. Will you state your full name for the court, please?
Jeremy Etheridge.
All right, and
Mr. Etheridge, pull that base of that to you so that we can make sure we can hear all about you. I didn't ask you to do
Sorry,
that,
sir.
but you
Let's
can.
make sure it's on.
All right.
Detective Etheridge, you are a laboratory agent with the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation.
Yes,
You reviewed several items in this case, is that correct?
yes,
And let's just back up a minute. When it comes to the testing of hair, the TBI does not perform hair testing, do they?
no,
There is no place that you know of in Dixon County or within the TBI that a piece of hair can be submitted to confirm whether it came from the victim or some other place.
that's correct.
When looking at hair sample, we look at the color and nature of the hair. It's more of an eye look, is that correct?
Yes,
All right. So let's talk a little bit about the weapon that was recovered from the defendant, a Glock Model 19. You received that weapon at the TBI,
yes,
and you also received the shell casings that were recovered from the crime scene.
yes,
Did you do a comparison between the shell casings and the Glock 19?
yes,
And I'm not going to get into how those comparisons are made, but it's scientific,
yes,
based upon years and years of the scientific method being applied.
yes,
And are you looking at strike marks on the shell casing?
yes,
Are those unique to each individual pistol?
yes,
So if I had a Glock 19 on my person tonight, which I don't, but I gave that to you, and then we took the Glock 19 that belonged to the defendant, you could distinguish. I haven't even asked my question. How's she objecting?
Let me hear the objection before you start in.
Your Honor, it's foundation. No one yet has even testified that a gun has been recovered from the defendant. We're now talking about TBI lab testing with a gun that no one's testified was ever recovered from the defendant. So we're getting into no foundation for any of this testimony.
That's fine, Your Honor. I can clear that up.
All right, sustain the objection at this time.
Detective, you received a weapon from the Dixon County Sheriff's Office.
yes.
How do you identify weapons as they come into the TBI lab?
Serial numbers.
Serial numbers. Are they signed off on by the agent or the detective that brings them to your laboratory?
Yes,
So while you may not be in the field, you are receiving a piece of property through a chain of custody.
yes,
We'll leave the defendant's name out of it, but you received a piece of property, a Glock 19, according to the property receipt. Is that correct?
that's correct.
And you examined a Glock 19.
Yes,
All right. You don't personally know where the Glock 19 came from, other than the identifying marks on the property receipt.
correct.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about the examination of weapons. Going back to my original questioning, if you have 2 Glock 19s, can you distinguish those Glock 19s?
Yes,
Do they make unique characteristic traits, strike marks on shell casings?
yes,
So you may have 2 Glock 19s that were produced in the same factory, one right after the other, but they would be distinguishable,
yes,
very unique,
yes,
so similar to fingerprints.
correct.
All right. And in this case, you did a comparison of the shell casings that you also received from the Dixon County Sheriff's Office,
Yes.
and you were able to do what?
I was able to tell that the 4 shell casings that were submitted come from the Glock 19 that was submitted as well.
Okay, and you were in the courtroom when the detective testified that she collected 4 shell casings at the Dixon County Sheriff's Office.
Yes,
She testified that they were turned in to you at the TBI lab.
yes,
You took those 4 shell casings and linked them to the Glock 19 that had been presented to you for examination.
Yes.
Right. Now, let's talk a little bit more about your work in this case. You produce a laboratory report every time you do an examination, is that correct?
That's correct. Yes.
And what is this?
It's a NIBIN report.
And is this an accurate copy of the report that you produced for this investigation?
Yes.
And let's just briefly go through it. It says evidence submitted by 1A sample cartridge DC SO1 sample caliber
Yes.
and casing 9mm.
Yes.
And 2C, what is 2C?
That's item number 2.
Right? And it's a Glock 19
Glock
firearm.
19. Yes, 9mm.
And what was the result?
The sample cartridge is a match with 2C firearm Glock 19 cartridge.
Okay. And are you sure of that result?
Yes.
And based on your result, the firearm that you examined is the firearm that fired the shell casings located at the crime scene?
Yes.
No doubt.
No doubt.
I'll move a copy of the lab report as the state's next exhibit.
All right, we'll make it, I assume we're going to have some witness that will identify the weapon and.
We will.
So
She's
we'll provisionally, normally in a real trial, the weapon would have been introduced first. But sometimes those things happen and you can allow some piece of evidence to come in conditionally if it's later connected. So we'll allow it to be brought in subject to correlation to the weapon itself.
Judge, the witness is in real life on a call right now and was unable to be here temporarily.
The witness that we had lined up to testify about these things is on a DOA call at the moment with the sheriff's department, I assume. Anyway, that means a dead on arrival call. That means that that officer that was going to come in and testify is actually responding to a death call. So we'll overlook her absence.
Now, Investigator Etheridge, you serve many roles with TBI. Not
Yes.
only are you a firearms expert, but you're also a seriology expert, is that correct?
Yes.
And you have a vast background in examining DNA.
Yes.
I'm tendering Detective Etheridge as a seriology expert. Any objection to that?
Just remember who you work for.
For practice purposes, I would
There's
not
no
object.
objections, right?
It's always interesting when we have these, the last one we had, General Crouch was the defense lawyer, and one of his assistants was the prosecutor, and there were times when you could see that the prosecuting attorney who works for him wanted to object, but kept her mouth shut because she didn't want to make her boss mad at her, I think. So anyway, we will allow
She's
this
done
to
much,
be.
if she's watching, she's done much worse than that, so.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Agent Investigator Etheridge, we're now speaking of this seriology report that you have produced. What did you examine? Do you remember off the top of your head?
So let me interrupt you because I'm trying to make sure everybody, including our class of the Citizens Police Academy, in a real world trial, in order to render an expert opinion, there has to be a qualification, and Mr. Crouch asked the defense lawyer if there was any objection to it. So normally you qualify someone as an expert through their training, experience, and so forth, and background, and they would be, the question would be asked if they could be qualified as an expert. I would make that determination, but we would give both sides an opportunity to question the background. So now that he's been qualified as an expert for this mock trial, he will be able to give an opinion, which is not something a layperson without being qualified as an expert would be able to do.
Okay, Agent Etheridge, we are now reviewing a document that you have before you. Can you identify this document, please?
It's an official CODIS report.
And that is also a laboratory examination?
Yes,
And is that your official, does that appear to be an accurate copy of your lab report?
yes.
All right. In this particular report, we have evidence that was received from who?
Charlotte Richards.
And which do you see underneath the victim, which is Charlotte Richards, where it says received from?
Yes, Rachel Ruiz.
And that's the detective we've heard testify.
Yes,
So Detective Ruiz brought evidence for seriology DNA testing, and they're marked as exhibits 1A and 1B, is that correct?
yes.
And 1A is what?
An acrylic fingernail,
Okay. And 1B is what?
victim's DNA swab.
All right. So a swab, what does that mean?
It's where they take, it's kind of like a long Q-tip. They put it in the person's mouth and swab their cheeks.
Okay. So the victim, Miss Richards, somebody swabbed her mouth for DNA.
Yes,
And what do you do with that sample? Is that your kind of your comparison sample?
yes,
Is it a known sample from the victim?
yes,
All right. And so when you examine the acrylic fingernail, are you trying to determine if DNA on the fingernail matches the known sample, which is Miss Richards' DNA?
yes,
Okay. Did you do that comparison in this test, in
I
this
did.
case? You compared the DNA located on the fingernail to Miss Richards' known sample.
yes,
And was it a match?
it was.
Okay. So we know that the fingernail, that wherever it came from, because you weren't there, but if we've seen a photograph of it in Miss Richards' car in the a console, we know that that fingernail has her DNA on it.
Correct.
All right. And I'll make a copy of the CODIS and lab report, the state's next exhibit, please. And then lastly, Agent Etheridge, we have Are you familiar with Apple AirTags?
Yes, I am.
You're very familiar with those as well.
Yes,
And I would tender Agent Etheridge as a forensic expert.
We will qualify him as an expert in that area.
Agent, can you describe to the jury what an AirTag is?
it's a more or less of a tracking device. They come with a serial number. You can put it somewhere and you can pair it to your iPhone and find out where it's at.
Okay. And an AirTag was examined by you,
Yes,
and in this particular case or in all cases, are AirTags in order to activate and be used, do they have to be associated and connected to an email address?
yes,
So when you go in and do an examination and subpoena the results from Apple, the proceeds from Apple, were you able to identify the email address associated with this AirTag?
yes.
And what is that email address?
KyleBush77@gmail.com.
Okay. So in this particular case, we have the serial number of the AirTag, and then we have the Apple ID that was used, and we see two separate emails. Is that correct?
That's correct.
We see one, KyleBush77@gmail.com, and do we have another?
crichard66@gmail.com.
Okay. And the status, can you go through the results of the status, please?
Yes, on 10/23/2025 at 2:58 p.m., it was, device was unpaired from the Apple ID. On the same date at 4:30 p.m., it was attempting to pair up with the Apple ID event, or the Apple ID, and at 5:50 p.m., there was another attempt to pairing it up.
Okay. What does that mean
That
in layman's terms?
the person whose name it's under was attempting to turn it or activate it to see where the AirTag was at.
Okay. So whether or not it ever connected, you don't know,
I do not know.
but somebody was attempting to connect.
That's correct.
And an Apple AirTag, does it have a distance in which it will connect? Yeah, I mean, if I'm a mile away from the AirTag, and I'm trying to find the AirTag on my Apple phone, what is required for it to connect?
You have to be within close proximity of it.
Relatively close?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So on the same date that we've been speaking of this entire case, October 23rd, 2025, somebody was attempting to pair up with this Apple AirTag.
That's correct.
In your experience in examining AirTags, if the person that was trying to pair it was literally sitting in the car where the AirTag was, would that be close enough to connect?
Yes.
So if I'm in a car, I should be able to connect with an AirTag.
Yes.
But if I'm unable to connect, that means I'm somewhere outside or away from the car.
That's correct.
All right. And I'll move that as the state's next exhibit, please.
Right.
And I'll pass the witness.
Sylvia, you may cross-examine.
Right. Mr. Etheridge, I'm going to start backwards a little bit. If you've got Exhibit 12, I'd like for you to peek at Exhibit 12. Right. And that is the Apple confidential report, correct?
Yes.
We have some experience with Apple iTags, don't we?
A lot.
Yes, so let's go through can you tell me which user attempted to pair the Apple iTag?
No.
Or AirTag?
No, I
You-
cannot.
You can't tell me who
No.
did that. So it could have been Miss Richards with the Miss Richards email address that's up there.
Possibly.
All right. And all of this happened on what date?
October 23rd, 2025.
So that was actually the day before she came to the administrative building to make a report, correct?
I have no idea. I don't work for the sheriff's office.
Okay. And what have you done to verify that Kyle Bush actually uses the email address kylebush77?
I have not. This is just what came back from Apple.
All right, so you don't know who set up that email account?
Do not.
Anybody could have set up that email address?
Anybody could have.
Could I have set up that
Yes, you
email
could have.
address? Okay. So what we have here is something that says that an AirTag was attempted to be paired on October 23rd, but we don't know by whom?
That's correct.
Do you have any information of when that AirTag was placed on the vehicle?
I do not.
All right, let's move backwards again, and I'm through with Exhibit 12, and we'll go to Exhibit 11, which would be the official CODIS report. All right. You are an expert in serology.
Sure.
Okay. What does CODIS mean?
I don't know.
You don't know what CODIS
I
means?
don't. It's DNA something, with something to do with DNA. Or the results go in. So like if your DNA is taken, goes into the system.
It's CODIS usually classifies certain individuals?
Yes.
What kind of individuals?
Humans.
Humans? Anything specific to humans?
I don't know.
Okay. All right. My next question would be, so your lab report verifies that Miss Charlotte Richards' DNA was found on this fingernail.
Yes.
Do you know where the fingernail was recovered from?
Don't have a clue.
Any other DNA at all that was submitted for you to test?
No.
Mr. Etheridge, if you could go look at Exhibit 10. This would be the NIBIN. Now, I heard a lot of testimony that you had regarding this. Is your name Mel Rose?
No.
So did you actually prepare this report?
I did not prepare the report, no.
Okay, so where did you get your information, Mr. Etheridge, if you're not Mr. Rose?
I did the testing on it, but Melrose filled a report out. He was in training.
Okay. So you were able to say that a gun given to you was matches for some shell casings that were given to you,
Yes,
but you don't know where the gun came from?
do not.
Is there a degree of certainty that you have? What's the margin of error on your results?
Real good at it. No errors.
No errors?
No errors.
100%?
Sure.
Okay. Did you happen to, so how did you say that these match up?
There's a picture of the back of the shell casing where it was fired and made an indention, where the indention was on the 4 that I received, were all a match, and then the one that was fired in the lab was a match to the other 4.
Okay, so the gun did fire?
Yes,
Where's the picture of the one that test fire? Where's the picture of the ones that you actually examined?
I don't know.
Okay. Have no other questions, Sherman.
Redirect. Thank you. I think they'd like to get you off the stand as quickly as possible. So,
All that smartness, right?
y'all need a recess for a few minutes, stand up, walk around. All right, let's take about a 10-minute recess and we'll give everybody a chance to walk around a little bit. So.